So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K24 Next Gen. In today's video, we are back with another episode of our Throwback Rebuild series, and today it's going to be the 2019 Brooklyn Nets. As much as I wish it was, this Nets team that we are rebuilding today is not the KD and Kyrie Nets. This is actually the season before they went ahead, kind of blew up their roster and signed away those two superstars from their respective teams. So this was a group that wasn't necessarily very good. They went 42-40. They made the Eastern Conference playoffs as a 7 seed and then lost to the 76ers in round 1 in 5 games. So they weren't very good, but they were very, very fun to watch. If you guys remember all those memes of like D'Angelo Russell and all those guys kind of dancing on the bench, that was from this season. So was not a good Nets team, but they were definitely fun to watch. Our goal today is to obviously get them a championship. As always, let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. I am currently recording this on Monday. You guys are seeing this on Monday, and just as a little heads up, because I don't know when and if it's going to happen, I understand that if the NBA Finals do end tonight, God, hope they do, just Celtics fan here, you all know that, I will probably have a Mavericks and Celtics rebuild on Wednesday and Thursday, if not Thursday and Friday. So I record my videos typically the day before. I have a whole schedule, but I do not record the day of, so I am not going to have a day of rebuild for the Mavericks and Celtics. But I'm not trying to get ahead of myself. This is still very much a series, and I really do hope it ends, though. I do. So let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. I'm excited for this one. Let's get into it. I got a lot of requests to do this team in this year. We have a really good shared file right now, and a lot of people wanted to see the Nets, so I thought might as well kick off our week with the Brooklyn Nets rebuild. So let's go ahead and talk about this roster. As I mentioned, they went 42-40, and honestly, on paper, that's pretty impressive because this team is not very good. There's not a lot of star power. There's a lot of pretty solid role players, but other than that, there's not a lot here. So let's get into it. D'Angelo Russell, he's 22. He is the best player on this team. Would he actually be 22 right now? Well, maybe. Might be 23. I don't know, but he's on a 1-year contract. This was his last season with the Brooklyn Nets. I think it was technically a sign-and-trade with the Warriors for them to land Kevin Durant, because obviously D'Lo went back to the Warriors. And I don't really know what we're going to do with D'Lo here today. You know, part of me is like, hey, let's make a play for Kyrie and Kevin Durant. Maybe even try to trade for James Harden at some point. But another part of me is like, hey, D'Lo in Brooklyn was probably the best version of D'Lo. Maybe. I don't really know. Some people will probably disagree with that. But he's a fun young player. He's obviously our best player right now, and he's the guy we're building around at this moment. So we'll go from there. Spencer Dinwiddie, who was the second leading scorer on this team throughout the regular season, was actually in a bench role for the majority of it. I believe he only started 4 games. So at this point in time, Spencer Dinwiddie's still a pretty solid player. He's a decent role player, I guess, today. I would definitely take this version of him over the current one, though. Shabazz Napier. I don't know who that is. That's not Shabazz Napier, but that is certainly not a name. UConn, right? Napier, Puerto Rico. I don't know why I thought Shabazz went to UConn. But he's a 71 overall. He's probably not going to see the court a lot. Shooting guard spot, Joe Harris. Not very high on Joe Harris. He's a good 3-point shooter. Not really a lot to love, and I don't love the contract, to be quite honest with you. Alan Crabb, Theo Pinson, and I think it's Dizan Massa. I'm probably, again, just butchering it. I mean, he's only 19 years old, but we'll see, as he is a 69 overall. Small forward spot, Karis LeVert, still a very solid role player in the NBA today. He's now with the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's only 24 years old right here, is a 77 overall, and in all likelihood will be my starting small forward. So excited to see what he can do for us here today. Got Rondae Hollis Jefferson. I don't think he's still in the league. It's not a name I've heard in a minute. And then Rodions Kurucs, I believe is the way it's pronounced. He's only 20. Kind of similar here to Massa. Young age, maybe not the brightest ceiling, just because we obviously know what these guys turned out to be, neither of which are still in the NBA. Power forward spot, you got Damari Carroll. 1-year contract, 32 years old. Definitely could be a guy I look to move, because again, let's just be honest with each other and accept reality. This team's not competing for a championship in year 1. So, you know, the veteran presence of Damari Carroll, and even a guy like Jared Dudley, who, if you remember back to that first round series against the 76ers, him and Ben Simmons kind of went at it a little bit. So as much as I like Jared Dudley, again, he was a solid role player. I just don't think he's going to be here much past this, you know, first kind of few minutes of these videos. And then we got Jared Allen, who is, you know, really solid NBA center today. He's only 20 years old here. He's a 78 overall. Him, much like D'Angelo Russell, are going to be one of the guys I'm building around. So very excited to see what Jared Allen can do. Then we got Ed Davis and Kenneth Farid, the Manimal. So that's the team right now. Again, it's not a great or a super talented team by any means, but I think I'd rather strip this thing down and then build it back up. I'm just curious, what is our draft pick situation? So we do have our own first-round pick. We also have the New York Knicks first-round pick, which is interesting. I don't know if they actually had that. I'm going to go ahead and just relook at the 2019 draft and just see. Oh, wait, no. The Knicks, no, because they drafted R.J. Barrett 3rd overall. So I don't know if it's a protected pick, whatever it is. I'll figure it out, but we're not supposed to have this, obviously. So I am going to go ahead and get into some trades right now. Our first trade is going to come with the Denver Nuggets, and it's a pretty interesting one. I'm not really sure why we're being offered this, and again, I know I just kind of talked about how I wanted to strip this thing down and then build it back up, and in some sense of it, we're not really doing that because we're acquiring two pretty solid players here in Paul Millsap and Will Barton from the Denver Nuggets, but this was just a trade that was too good to pass up on, right? I mean, both of these guys on multi-year deals, both of them are better than the player we're trading for, so that makes sense, I think, in my opinion. So, Paul Millsap, Will Barton, welcome to the Brooklyn Nets. A deal with the Miami Heat is going to see us land Kelly Olynyk and Wayne Ellington. We're doing this deal for Olynyk because he is on a multi-year deal, and he is a higher overall than Jared Dudley. So, again, we're getting some pretty good returns without giving up a whole lot in terms of value. So, again, another trade I'm just pretty happy with. Might make us a little bit better, which isn't necessarily the goal, but we're certainly not sacrificing a lot for solid returns. Our next trade is going to come with the Charlotte Hornets, and it's going to see us land two centers here, Cody Zeller and Billy Hernangomez. Now, although I have Jared Allen, he is 1,000% going to be starting for me. Adding two guys in Zeller and Hernangomez, who are both still relatively young at 26 and 24, and on multi-year contracts, feels like a really good move for two guys in Fareed and Hollis Jefferson that are expiring and even a little bit older. So the 2K trade machine is being very nice to me today on this Monday morning, but that is another deal I am definitely going to be happy about. We are sending Wayne Ellington to the Oklahoma City Thunder for a first-round pick in 2021 that is top 3 protected, and Abdel Nader. That is not a name I have heard in a long time. But Wayne Ellington was on an expiring contract. He's 30 years old, and we have a younger, maybe even a little bit higher potential player sitting behind him that I do want to get minutes. So a first-round pick for a guy that was never going to be a long-term solution is certainly fine by me. I'm going to actually play Massa over Pinson. Again, it's a 1 overall difference. It's 3-year age difference, but it's also 2 years longer on the contract of Massa. So that's why I'm going with that decision. Now, the thing I'm a little nervous about is both Russell and Dinwiddie are expiring deals. I don't necessarily want to move either of them, and I probably will not, but it is definitely something to keep in mind because the first offseason and the first free agency here is absolutely loaded. So I just want to, kind of keep everybody aware of that I do have to kind of plan things out long term. Anybody want to give me anything for Shabazz Napier, who was certainly not going to be here, or certainly not going to be getting any serious minutes? Wow, that is absolutely insane. Thank you very much, Detroit. Stupid is as stupid does. All right, that's pretty much it. We have our 10-man rotation, and again, we're going to be a little better than I initially anticipated, but that's fine. I still don't think we're going to be any sort of serious contender. I mean, all due respect, if 33-year-old Paul Millsap's your second best player, it's probably not going to be a great year. So let's set the rotation. After a few trades, we are ready to kick off year one here in Brooklyn. This team on paper looks a little bit better than what we started out with, but ultimately, as I've talked about, I still don't really think this is going to be any sort of competitive team in the Eastern Conference. So we might make the playoffs. I don't think we will, but I'm not going to be, crazy surprised if that ends up actually happening. So it is D'Angelo Russell, Joe Harris, Karis LeVert, Paul Millsap, and Jared Allen. Bench unit's going to be Spencer Dinwiddie, Will Barton, Cody Zeller, Massa, and then Kelly Olynyk. I'm just trying to unlock the most potential here. Unfortunately, Kurucs is not really going to be playing because we traded for Barton, so really not a serious role for him, but he'll be our 11th guy. If anybody fouls out, he'll likely be checking into the game. But again, I'm excited for the future of this team because I think we've set ourselves up really well where we can be flexible. We have some money to spend. We have some assets. So I will see you guys at the end of year one here in Brooklyn. 35-47 is the record at the end of year one. As I mentioned, this team actually did go 42-40 in real life, and that's fine by me. I think I'd rather be where we are now than at 42-40. Russell Westbrook's your MVP. It was a 25-point triple-double. He was insane all around. Luka Doncic is your rookie of the year. Josh Richardson there in Miami, another team I want to rebuild from this era because this is the pre-Jimmy Butler time, and this team was not very good. So I'd like to do a Heat rebuild. If any of you want to see that, let me know. Giannis is your D-Boy. Josh Richardson also wins Most Improved. Steve Kerr, whoever the hell that is your coach of the year. 68-14 for the Golden State Warriors. This was, in real life, the final year of Kevin Durant in a Warriors uniform. So let's see if they go out on top with a bang. Here are the standings. We are the 9 seed, so we are going to be in the draft lottery, per se, which is, again, fine by me. We're probably not going to have the greatest pick in the world, and I checked. Well, actually, I knew this already, but we were not supposed to have the Knicks pick this year. They drafted RJ Barrett 3rd overall in real life. It was Zion, number 1 to the Pelicans, John Morant to the Grizzlies, and RJ Barrett to New York at number 3. And then we also don't have their pick next year. The Knicks drafted Obi Toppin in 2020. I have no idea what that pick is from, but we're not supposed to have it, so I'm just going to send it back to New York. It's just the reality of the situation right now. Let's go ahead and dive into some stats, see how everybody played for us all across the board. It was D'Angelo Russell, about 20 points a game, 3 rebounds, 6.5 assists. He was 50% from the field. I can live with that. It's fine. Joe Harris, Jared Allen, Paul Millsap, LeVert, Barton, Dinwiddie, Olynyk, Zeller, and then Massa. Rebounds was Allen, and then assists were led by D'Lo. So as we just avoid the playoffs as a 9 seed, probably the best case scenario all around. Let's sim through the playoffs right now in the Philadelphia 76ers. win the 2019 finals. Hey, I'm not saying it was out of the realm of possibility. If you guys remember back to the 2019 playoffs, the Sixers and Raptors had a fantastic series that went to Game 7. Kawhi Leonard hit one of the craziest shots in NBA history, which sent the 76ers home. So, not saying it's out of the question. Not saying. But they do get it done. Ben Simmons Finals MVP was not on my bingo card today, but it happened, and it's the reality of it. Vince Carter entering the Hall of Fame, jersey retirement. So you telling me Tony Parker and Pau Gasol not going to the Hall of Fame here in 2K? All right. Historic changes. Coach's challenge is good. That's fine. Who cares about this? Is dumb. That's just it's a lottery for a reason. That is good. And then they're doing some logos, some uniforms. Okay, draft lottery time. We are projected to have what pick? It's going to be number 11 overall right now. We're also projected 1. We're giving the Knicks back their pick wherever it lands. It's just how it works. So let's see where we end up here in the draft. Of course, it's number 1. Of course. Because, when I actually have good picks, they never go number 1. But no. Here today, we're going to have the number 11 overall pick, which is cool with me. So Kenny Atkinson's our head coach right now. I know that's not Kenny Atkinson. It's just some random insurance salesman named Kenny Atkinson. But I can't really work with those ratings. So Kenny, you're fired. Steve Kerr, I think this could be a good style for video. I haven't gotten him in a minute. He might not come here, to be honest with you. So maybe I offer Underwood as well, who I've also had a lot of success with. Let's see. We get Underwood, which is totally fine by me. Again, the ratings aren't perfect as good as Stauffer's are, but I can live with what Jacob Underwood has to offer. So let me send the New York Knicks back their draft pick, and then we are going to work on either a trade or drafting somebody. We're here in the 2019 NBA draft. I decided I wanted to go ahead and actually draft somebody at number 11. The 11th overall pick is not necessarily the best, but it's also not the worst. You can still get a solid player there, and most likely a role player. So New York drafted Zion. I'm sure you guys all remember the offseason of, 2018, 2019. It was a miserable season for the Knicks, and everybody thought, hey, we're going to get the number 1 overall pick. We're going to draft Zion, then we're going to sign KD and Kyrie. Obviously, KD and Kyrie did go to New York. It was just the Brooklyn Nets instead of the New York Knicks. So this is part 1 of their plan. Ended up happening. You can see the Atlanta Hawks took Ja Morant. They have Trae Young sitting there, but okay. Jackson Hayes, 3rd overall pick. That is an interesting decision. There are certainly some solid role players here. So just looking at what I have to offer right now, I think RJ Barrett probably makes the most sense. I'm actually surprised he is not off the board yet. He was 3rd overall in real life. Just looking at the other options, there's a lot of solid NBA players here, but from a talent perspective, I think RJ Barrett's the guy. So welcome to Brooklyn, RJ. Not exactly sure what sort of role you're going to have with this team, but certainly at a 75 overall, he is going to be an important piece. So D'Lo is restricted. That is something that is nice. I did not necessarily know that. And as we enter, a loaded free agency class, we have some options with what we want to do. How much money do we have right now to play with? We have about $25 million bucks. My goal is to clear up some money anyways, because there are a lot of contracts here I don't necessarily love. Pascal Siakam is currently making $1.6 million. This would be a very, very nice way to both upgrade our power forward spot and deal out a lot of the money that we have on the books right now that I don't really want to have on the books. So we're heading up to the Toronto Raptors, who appear to have a little bit of cap space. Looks like we can maybe include some of our guys here. How about I throw you Massa as well? And then I don't really know how much money you actually have in terms of space. But looks like I got a little bit more to play with. So I want to hang on to LeVert. I think I'm going to keep him. You want? Nah, I can't afford Joe Harris. Okay, let's see what we have in terms of draft picks that we could potentially offer. I would be willing to maybe trade our pick in 22 to land Siakam. They agree. All right, excited about having Pascal Siakam because he's 25 years old. In real life, he was coming straight off a championship. And he is a little bit of an upgrade while being, millions and millions of dollars cheaper. So happy about that. We did clear up some money. At this point in time, we can go offer a max to somebody. I don't know who that's going to be. My thought process is kind of telling me I want it to be one of the best players. I'm thinking small forward. So I think Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard are both going to get offers. And then I think Jimmy Butler is going to be a backup plan because ultimately if we don't land any of these guys, Jimmy has 0 offers. He'll probably accept. So as much as I'd love to go out and get Kyrie and James Harden, I'm going to roll with D'Lo. I know he's a free agent right now, but he's restricted, so we can kind of wait. And then we obviously decided Siakam. So our front court set, I'm going to play Barrett at the 2. That's what we drafted him as a shooting guard. So it's really just small forward right now. So I'm going to offer KD. Again, highly unlikely he accepts. Kawhi Leonard only has 1 offer, so maybe it's a little more likely he accepts, which certainly I would be more than okay with adding Kawhi Leonard to this team. And then, of course, the final option here is going to be Jimmy Butler. So I'm hoping we get one of them. I also hope D'Lo doesn't have any other offers. He does not. We get Kawhi Leonard. Do we have any space? We have $12 million bucks right now. Well, wait. No, it doesn't. I don't know why it doesn't update. I mean, there's probably a way to get both, but we're not going to go that path because I do want to bring back D'Lo as well. So we're going to pick Kawhi Leonard here. I'm very happy about that. This offseason, he actually went to the Los Angeles Clippers. Here, he's going to come to the Brooklyn Nets. So now we got to wait on D'Lo and just kind of hope. Kevin Durant goes to the Spurs. Wow. Let's just make sure D'Angelo Russell does not sign a contract. Where the hell is he? Oh, he's right here. No offers yet. One more day. Do not renounce. You got to accept the Kawhi contract. And D'Angelo Russell now has 11 offers. And many of them are real contracts. So I am just going to give him a max contract. Hope he does not accept it. We are not going to accept. We are not going to renounce. Kawhi is accepted. And then one more day here of D'Lo. We'll just match the Mavericks offer. God damn. It's a fat contract. Okay, now we're in a pretty good spot. We have our point guard. I'm going to start Barrett, as I was talking about. We have Kawhi Leonard. I'm actually going to stick with LeVert. Not only is he cheaper, but I think the ceiling's a little bit higher than Barton is here. We're good with Siakam and Olynyk, and then honestly, I'm good with Zeller and Allen as well. So we have some nice veteran pieces off the bench. But I'm in a really good spot right now. I'm pretty happy. So let's see what we can do here. If we were to maybe go ahead and move Will Barton, who I know has an extra year, but I'm still a little bit more comfortable there with what we had going on. So let's see. I need a point guard of some sort. And I'm not really seeing it. So do I have money to sign a point guard? Yeah, I have a little bit, but not a lot. Oh, man. All right. Let's just curious. Like, is there... I need like a 78 overall point guard. 77 overall point guard would even be fine. Clint Capella's a nice piece. He's just not what I'm looking for. Every time I'm looking for a specific position, I quite literally never get offered it. It's amazing how these things work. How about if I try LeVert instead? Not necessarily what I want to do. Whoa, okay. Now this is one that's a little tempting. This is one that's a little bit tempting because Sexton's only 20 here. We do swap center for center with Zeller and Thompson. I know that Zeller obviously has an extra year. But that's actually one that maybe makes a little bit of sense. You know, it's a little bit of a risk, but it's one that we might have to take. So, you know what? We're going to do that deal. We're doing that deal here. If I can, did I scroll by it? Thank you very much, Cleveland. And that's a deal I'm actually pretty happy about. So welcome to the team, Colin Sexton. We have our 10-man rotation moving forward, and I'll see you guys at the start of year 2. Unsurprisingly, I have pretty high expectations entering year 2. Last year, we were the 9 seed. We only missed the playoffs by like 3 or 4 games. We had an absolutely insane offseason where we added a superstar in Kawhi Leonard and then put a lot of really nice pieces around him. So I'm happy to see some development here for guys like D'Lo, Siakam, and Allen, and we still have a really solid bench unit as well. So this team should be competitive. I don't know if we're going to be winning it all here in year 2, but we certainly should be in the mix at a bare minimum. It is D'Angelo Russell, RJ Barrett, Kawhi Leonard, Pascal Siakam, and Jared Allen. Our bench unit's going to be led by Will Barton, Colin Sexton, and Tristan Thompson, who we acquired from the Cavaliers, Joe Harris, and then Kelly Olynyk. So all things considered, I am very excited for what could be a very fun season number 2. And let's just go out and win some basketball games. I'll see you guys at the end of it. I'm going to be honest with you. Whatever expectations I had going into this season, to say we overachieved would be the understatement of the century. This team went 67-15. Now, I know we're good, and I know we had big hopes, but this team just completely blew me out of the water in terms of what I was kind of expecting. So, 1,000% going to take it. Just always kind of cautious about these things when I think we overachieve as we head into the playoffs. Russell Westbrook, another MVP award. Zion Williamson, as you saw, went number 1 overall to the Knicks. He is your Rookie of the Year. Fred VanVleet, 6th Man of the Year in Toronto. You got Giannis winning another DPOY. Jaylen Brown, most of my fucking king. Bring it home for me tonight, JB. I need a championship. I am begging. All right, sorry. Jacob Underwood, Coach of the Year. 67-15, as I mentioned, is just way better than I thought we were going to be. But there are teams that I build that sometimes surprise me in terms of record. This is no different than that. I think it's when we get teams that just fit really well together and everybody kind of has a defined role, right? Like when I put teams together that have, 3 superstars, like 3, 92-plus overall players, typically I perform pretty well. I'm never really surprised when we win 67-plus games, but sometimes the fit doesn't really feel like it's there. This is a team that feels like fits very, very well together. Everybody has their roles cut out, and that's just kind of the way I'm thinking about it right now. Not to say there's not a lot of talent here, because certainly there is. There are the numbers all across the board. The first round of the playoffs here, we have the Washington Wizards. What do y'all know about Prime John Wall? I know this isn't Prime John Wall, but what do y'all know about Prime John Wall? This dude was a problem. Bradley Beal, Otto Porter, James Johnson. You got the Dwight Howard Wizards era was weird. That was a interesting decision there. We quickly go up 3-0, and we do close them out in a sweep, moving on to the Philadelphia 76ers, who did win it all last year. So as much as you want to make jokes about the Sixers in the second round of the playoffs, you got to take them serious here right now in 2K. Quickly take a 2-0 lead, make it 3-0, yet to lose a playoff game as we approach the Eastern Conference Finals and a dance with the Milwaukee Bucks. Eric Bledsoe, Malcolm Brogdon, Giannis. Oh my God, Enes Kanter. Okay. They have the best player in the series. Well, maybe you can have a debate between Giannis and Kawhi. Again, yet to lose a playoff game. I'm not really sure what's going on right now. Russell Westbrook's won back-to-back MVPs. I talked about this in the other, I think it was the Knicks rebuild actually, but the Russ and Paul George era in Oklahoma City did not last long enough. It should have been longer. I mean, looking back on it, obviously it was a smart decision to see where the Thunder are at now, but just from a basketball perspective, I do miss it. We're up 3-0 right now. Again, not really sure that this team is, this good, but I guess maybe we are. Maybe I'm not seeing it. If all of you see it, then congratulations, but I don't. We're going to lose, we're going to lose this game as we head back to Oklahoma City for a Game 6. It'd be nice to close them out on their home floor, and they are just jumping us from the start. Okay, we're fighting back a little bit. Have some balls. Show me some championship heart, and look at that third quarter. That's insane. All right, I'll see you guys in there. I always love year 2 championships. They obviously, alleviate a lot of the pressure that you have in a rebuild, but more importantly, they give me kind of another year to grow and another year to kind of make some more decisions, even without the pressure of actually going out and getting a championship. So, not to say I'm not going all in next season, because I still want another one, but I'm just saying it's obviously not as important right now. Allen, go up and get that shit out of here. Kawhi Leonard's got 28 and 6 on the night. Beautiful. Kawhi just going coast to coast. A little mid-range, not going to go. Bad shot, my fault. All right, I mean, there's not a lot to talk about right now. We've talked a lot about this season and this team in real life for the Brooklyn Nets. They went all in, and looking back on it, Kawhi Leonard, excuse me, this offseason for them that obviously we approached a little bit differently than they did in real life was a huge success. I mean, they made a clean sweep. They signed Kevin Durant, they signed Kyrie Irving, they signed DeAndre Jordan, and everybody thought it was a guaranteed championship. Then they traded for James Harden, and shit just hit the fan. Injuries happened. It felt always a little awkward, like there should have been 2 basketballs out there with how many guys demanded the ball, but it just didn't work, and they were a really good team, and I know damn well they got all the way to the Eastern Conference semifinals, and they were a Kevin Durant shoe size away from making to the Eastern Conference Finals, and let's be honest, probably a championship. I think they steamrolled the Hawks in the Eastern Conference Finals in 21, and I think they probably beat the Phoenix Suns in the finals, so it's crazy. I mean, that's the NBA. It's full of what ifs, and obviously things have now changed where not one of Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, or James Harden is on the Brooklyn Nets anymore, and the Nets are in a very bleak position right now because this is a team that does not own their own draft pick, or not own, but they don't control their own draft pick until 2028. They do have some decent assets from both the Suns and the 76ers, I think they have a pick from, just from the James Harden deal. But this is, again, a team that is in a very weird spot right now because they're trying to build around Mikal Bridges, and it's not a smart idea. The guy's 27 years old. I don't know why people still think Mikal Bridges is some young star that's emerging. He's not. It's a tough spot. I would not commit to it like that, but it's crazy to think of how differently things could have gone. If Kevin Durant wore 1 shoe size smaller, right? I mean, you probably look at the Nets era of that big 3 as a huge success if they win a championship, and it's hard to say anything else. So crazy how things can change just like that. It was a very fun time watching those 3 be on the court together, but ultimately injuries. I know they only played 6 games together total where everybody was fully healthy, which is fucking insane, by the way. But between Kyrie Irving not wanting to play or not being able to play, we're not getting into that. Harden had the hamstring and a couple other things. KD would feel like he was always out there, but just crazy, man. All right, this one is over. Free throw with D-Lo is good. I will see you guys with Finals MVP. Championship in year 2. Finals MVP is Mr. Kawhi Leonard. Surprise, surprise. He was fantastic all around throughout 6 games. Man was damn near 48% from beyond the arc. Awesome season for us. 67 wins and a championship as we head into our final season where there's probably not going to be a lot of moves made, right? I mean, this is an established group, and there's really no reason to change much else. That's just the playing thing, I'm pretty sure. Cool. Draft lottery time. I don't think we've traded for any lottery picks, so that's fine. Let's just sim through it. It's the 2021 draft coming up. Let's take a look at staff signing. We were obviously good with Jacob Underwood. Oh, wait, no, this is the 2020 draft. Excuse me. This is Anthony Edwards, LaMelo, all those guys. Let's see what we got. We have no draft picks. That's fine. Let's just skip over it. It's cool with me. Allen and Sexton both being brought back in those cheap team options. David Nwaba was on this team. He has a qualifying offer. I will not extend it, though. Okay, Tristan Thompson entering unrestricted free agency, only 29 years old. I'd like to extend him this offer. And then Joe Harris also. Oh, whoa. Okay, I did not know that. Siakam, apparently, also free agent. Let me just go out and make sure I'm able to re-sign Pascal. Oh, he's right here. Are you kidding me? This is 2K back on their bullshit. There's no reason I shouldn't be able to sign Pascal Siakam right now. I traded for him. He's 26 years old. I should have the rights. It's just my opinion. Some of you might not like it. I'm going to put him back on this team. There's no logical reason I shouldn't be able to re-sign Siakam, right? It doesn't. He was a first-round pick. I should have bird rights on him. Unless one of you cap nerds wants to explain to me there's an actual reason I shouldn't be able to re-sign Siakam, I'm pretty sure this is just 2K glitching. Because I should be able to go out, extend over the cap into the hard cap, pay the luxury tax, and bring back Siakam. I'm of the opinion. I'm bringing him back. If you want to get pissed at me, you're totally welcome to. I'm not going to waste the season and waste this rebuild because 2K wants to be on their bullshit. Because I'm damn near 99% positive I should be able to pay this man right here. So I'm going to find a way to get him back. I'll see you guys after this. For those of you who are upset with me that Pascal Siakam is now back on this team, even though 2K did not allow me to bring him back, I'll apologize. If you want to get upset with me, you're totally welcome to. But unless I'm just missing it, right? There's no reason that not only should I have been able to bring back Pascal Siakam, shouldn't he have also been a restricted free agent? I thought so. I don't know. So unless I just completely missed something, he's back on this team, and if I fuck that up, then I'm sorry. But we're just gonna roll with the punches. So at this point in time, there's really not a lot else to change on this team. It's gonna be a rare circumstance, and again, you all know I don't love doing it, but we're gonna run it back. We're gonna get another year of development with this team in terms of overalls improving, and it ain't broke. So why would I try to fix it? I'll see you guys at the start of the final regular season. We enter the final regular season looking to repeat. I think this team certainly has the talent. We didn't make any changes to this rotation, and I'm very, very happy with the product that we have here, on paper at least. So it is D'Angelo Russell, RJ Barrett, Kawhi Leonard, Pascal Siakam, and Jarrett Allen. You can give me your opinions about what I did with Siakam in the comment section if you want, but I still think I'm right. That's where I'm at. Colin Sexton, now up to an 81 overall, will be my sixth man here, taking over for Barton. I mean, it's a 2-minute difference, so there's nothing crazy, but he's a higher overall, higher ceiling. He's getting the extra minutes. Will Barton still here? Joe Harris, who we re-signed, Tristan Thompson, and then Kelly Olynyk. So I know it wasn't the most exciting offseason, but that's what happens when 2K bullshits me. It's just what happens. I'll see you guys at the end of the final regular season. Identical team, damn near identical record, almost. 66-16, we're one game worse than last year, but that's not something to really hang your head about. It is another MVP for Russell Westbrook. I am like 100% positive he won all of them throughout this video. LaMelo Ball's Rookie of the Year. He ended up as a Memphis Grizzly. Bobby Portis, still in Chicago, your sixth man of the year. Giannis, 3 straight depoys. Markelle Fultz, most improved. And Jacob Underwood, second straight coach of the year. So a lot of repeats from last year, but I am very happy nonetheless, and I am hoping we are well on our way to another championship. We won 66 games. The second-seeded Pistons only won 49. Wow, this is a very, very bad conference. Okay, here's a look at the West. All right, let's get into the stats real quick. See how everybody played all across the board. It was Kawhi, D'Lo, Siakam, Allen, Sexton. But you guys can see, you have eyeballs. Rebounds per game led by Siakam, and assists was D'Lo. So we have the New York Knicks, battle in New York here in round 1. They do have Zion and Tingus Pingus, but there's not really a lot here that gets me moved. So I think this team's easily beatable. We sweep. 76ers again. I mean, I'm just having a ton of deja vu right now. Again, they're good. I think we're better. I don't think that's a crazy statement. So, again, we finally do lose a playoff game before the finals, but that's fine. And it's the 49-win 2-seed Pistons here in the Eastern Conference Finals. Blake Griffin in Detroit, I still think was maybe the best version of Blake Griffin all time. I don't want to piss off like the 4 Clipper fans out there, and I'm sorry about that. But Pistons Blake was really fucking good. Thanks for coming. All right, we're running it back with the Thunder. Russ, Ferguson, PG, Jeremy Grant, Nerlens Noel. They don't really... Oh, shit. All right, well, I got a little ahead of myself. That's fine. We already won one. I don't want you to think I didn't care, but I thought we had it in the bag. That's a fuck up on my part. All right, this was a fun video. You know, everything kind of came together in that first offseason, and we just kind of went from there and just rolled with the punches. But this was a good team, and I had a lot of fun making this video. I hope you guys enjoyed as well. Of course, as we are, I've talked about this quite a bit, as we're in this kind of down period right now between the NBA draft and free agency and the big blockbuster trades we're going to see. I need video ideas, so let me know what you want to see down below in the comment section. I love the historic rebuild. It's all about just finding, a good shared scenario that has rosters that are accurate. So you guys have any of those you want to see a rebuild on, let me know in the comment section with anything else you got. So that's it for me. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.